Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to integrate this very strange integral, and we are going to integrate this guy from -1/e to e. So the first step we have to do is we try to simplify the integrand. So how about we let the integrand to be y, and we can write it down like y equals x over e to the power of itself, right? X over e to the power of itself, ... So we can see that the pattern repeat itself in the bracket. So we can replace the bracket by y again because the pattern goes to infinity. And we can multiply e to the power of y to the left hand side, which is y times e to the power of y equal x. So how do we isolate y on the left hand side? We need to use the Lambert W function. So let's try to apply this function to both sides. And on the right hand side we have Lambert W function of x. And this function can do the job to make it to be y on the left hand side. And then on the right hand side, we can write it down like this. So actually, our integral becomes the integration from -1/e to e, and we are integrating the Lambert W function. So how do we integrate the Lambert W function? How about we make a substitution? We let u to be equal to Lambert W of x, and then we know that x will be equal to u times e to the power of u, and we try to integrate wx first. So we know that wx is u, right? So we can substitute it into the integrand, and then the x is equal to u times e to the power of u, and we can replace it into the differential. So now the integral becomes integrate u differentiate u times e to the power of u, and then we can apply the integration by parts. Well, notice that we can multiply these two terms in the front like this, and then minus the integration of u times e to the power of u du, and this is very beautiful now. And for these two terms, I try not to multiply them out. I keep them like this. Minus. So for this guy, we need to apply the integration by parts again. So we open the bracket, and this guy is equal to itself u times e to the power of u minus e to the power of u, and then we have to plus c at the back. So we try to simplify the expression a bit. U times e to the power of u minus u times e to the power of u plus e to the power of u plus c. And how do we simplify these terms? So we look back our substitution. We know that u is equal to wx, and x is equal to u times e to the power of u. So we can substitute u here, which is the Lambert W function of x, and then this guy is equal to this guy and equal to x. So we can write it like okay, I can write the x in the front. X times wx minus this guy is exactly the x plus. So what about eu? Eu is here, right? So we can divide u to the left hand side, and it's equal to EU, and u is equal to wx, so we can write it as the x over w of x, and then plus c. So now we can do the substitution. So now I apply the bracket here, and I remove the plus c, and I will write the upper limit and lower limit, e and negative 1 over e. So we do the first part first. So we calculate e times w of e minus e plus e over w of e. So what is the Lambert W function of e? And we have to think of e equals u times e to the power of u. And we have to think of a number such that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. And the only number we can substitute into the equation is 1. So we know that the Lambert W function of e will be equal to 1. So the expression becomes e times 1 minus e plus e over 1. And the result is e. So we can do the second part. And we need to substitute x into the expression. So we do on the right hand side, which is negative 1 over e, the Lambert W function of negative 1 over e minus negative 1 over e plus negative 1 over e over Lambert W function of this guy. Whoa, so many negative 1 over e. And what is this guy? And we need to do the same thing. How about we change this expression a bit? We can write it as negative e to the power of negative 1. And we need to think of a number such that both sides are equal, and the only number is negative 1. So now we can calculate the second part. The second part will be negative 1 over e times negative 1. And of course this is plus 1 over e plus negative 1 over e over negative 1. And then this expression will becomes 1 over e plus 1 over e. And then these two negative signs will cancel out, and plus 1 over e, which is 3 over e. So the overall result will be e minus 3 over e. And I hope you guys will enjoy this video, and we will see you in the next video. And please consider to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your watching. Bye bye.